I really wanted to see Kyra happy. I really did. But Kyra has now proved to us that she hasn't changed, so let's investigate that. Whatever the circumstances were leading up to that engagement, she was happy. She was ignoring hate comments coming for her or whatever. She'd found her happiness, and from an objective standpoint, I could respect that, the fact that she'd moved on and was being mature about the situation. However, of course with Oscar, he'd made his video literally not long after she'd posted her engagement announcement. For whatever reason, this effed her off big time, and she couldn't sit there and allow Oscar to be open and vulnerable and express his feelings. And I honestly don't think she has the ability to accept and move on because she cares too much about public perception. Kyra emotionally destroyed Oscar. That's a fact. He said this, their fans have witnessed it, but of course this doesn't align with her narcissism, because when you make a career of profiting off your kids and social media for years, you want everyone to love you. That's what social media is all about. It's about wanting to be liked. But I think people would like her a lot more or respect her a lot more if she'd just taken accountability. But no, she had to speak on his feelings once again and deny how she made him feel. So yeah, Kyra recently went on live stream and had to speak on Oscar's feelings. She just had to. Here's what she'd said.
This is a really, this is a really hard part for me because, again, his emotions are his emotions, and I can never take those away from him, and they're not wrong. No matter what I have done or intended and what my reasoning was or anything, like, his emotions those are valid emotions, and I would never take that from him. But I will say, again, certain aspects, not when it comes to this video necessarily, but just in life, and this is the reason I don't make videos and stuff, is because it just feels wrong for me to sit here and say anything. But I definitely had a side. I did what I did for a reason, and a part of me gets very angry, and I think I'm still angry, which is why I still have not felt like right to film a video and make it, or to even acknowledge it like I am now. Because I just don't feel, I don't even know how to put my words into words. I don't feel like it's accurate. Again, without taking from his emotions. But do I feel bad for emotionally destroying him? I feel terrible that he has gone through what he's gone through, and that he has been in a dark place, and that, his emotions have led him to what he's felt. Well, things led him to that, but I have eaten myself alive, you guys, basically, with how guilty I have felt. This isn't something I've truly shared online because I have to be tall in my decision, right? And if I express any sense of emotional side to it or anything, people are gonna be like, oh my god, see, like, you regret it, and like, that's not the facts of it. I feel guilty that it hurt. I feel guilty that it was my choice. I feel guilty that it happened afterwards the way that it did. I feel bad that, yeah, of course, like, all the things, like, of course I do. But I don't think it's fair to say I emotionally destroyed him, and I don't want that to be what's portrayed. I know that's what I know that's not what he's trying to portray, because we've had this conversation many times in private, because that's not accurate. I didn't emotionally destroy him. I think what may have emotionally destroyed him, and I don't want to speak for him, but from my understanding, from the conversations we've had, is the shock. I think he was very shocked that I finally ended it. But I didn't even think he really even had emotions for pretty much all of our relationship, and I don't mean that in a mean way at all. But, like, truthfully, I'm a very emotional person, and I was almost, like, belittled constantly because of that. It wasn't his intention. I do know that now. But I wasn't allowed to really have emotions, is how I felt. So now seeing him be so emotional, maybe some of you can relate being in a relationship, just the basis of that, you know, like then seeing him be so emotional, it is a little bit hard. And in the beginning was a little bit frustrating because it was like, really? I begged for emotions for many years and I really got nothing. And again, we both have a side of this, and this is what's so hard and so, I hate talking about it, and this is again why I've never made a video, because it just, like, I feel guilty even now, like, expressing this to you guys. It makes me anxious because I just feel like it's not fair for me to sit on here and say things without him being able to, one, defend himself, and then also just, like, I don't know, it just makes me uncomfortable. Sorry to make this drag on so long to answer this one question, but Victoria, I do feel bad for his emotions. I have tried, if you asked him, he would tell you. I have answered his calls. I have totally tried to help. I have taken the kids when he's needed, like, not just because of other things, like, obviously I'm their mom, but, like, I've tried to emotionally help him because of my guilt alone, and for many other reasons, on repeat. Okay, I've given up myself after the breakup, emotionally and physically, to be able to help him. But to say I emotionally destroyed him, I don't think is a fair statement. Yeah. Must have been hard for him to see you guys move on so quickly with someone in your guys' circle. I absolutely agree. I imagine that was really hard. Just seeing some people in my life that I thought were really close with me gravitate towards him was really hard, you know? So I can only imagine how, now that I'm in a relationship with somebody, I know that was really hard, and we have had that conversation, and he had a lot of questions.
People are like, just move on, Kyra. Just accept and acknowledge this is what happens when you break up your own family. She was doing good. She was happy. She'd moved past the drama like a normal adult would. But now it's like, oh my God, it's just a repeat of their breakup video all over again. Her saying, no, Oscar, you're not allowed to be upset. That's not good for my reputation. Was it awkward of him to post that video after she'd announced her engagement? Maybe. But if you look at the whole picture, you wouldn't judge him for doing that. He's clearly in pain, he's clearly a good bloke, and respect to him for not throwing shade at Kyra online, because trust me, a lot of men would not let that shit slide. He's a good father to his kids for not harassing his baby mama on the internet. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this drama? Let me know in the comments.